So in the meeting with South Wales Police, I tried to ask them to sit down on a table with us, and we could go through a presentation of what we believe is a crime committed that will eventually or is actually now causing the death of Glynneath residents as we speak. Our full discussion can be found on the following YouTube video by searching for South Wales Police refuse to accept a violent crime report from Glynneath residents. So this was after about 3 minutes. The meeting lasted 28 minutes, and so that would take. So we spent 25 minutes trying to present to them where they were saying no, 101, and as we've seen 2 years ago, I reported through 101 the unlawful killing of Glynneath residents through toxic waste that is being hidden by Neath Port Talbot Council. So I created a presentation, and this is the presentation I was going to run through. You pretend to be the police, and I'll be me. Okay, so I've created a front sheet that gives you information about all the documents that I'm going to give you now, and I'll just run through it briefly so that you get an idea of what the crime is. So a bit of background information first. In 2008, the land in Heol y Glyn was tested and found to be contaminated. This is a list of the contaminants there, but there's no record of the Cuddy group or anybody remediating the site, which was part of the process that they should have gone through, either remediating the site or doing further testing to check for further contaminants. Nothing happened, and we tried to get this information from the council, and they refused to supply anything in relation to this, and then they blocked me. So what I did was I researched the information on the council website, and I created this 16-page document called the Council of Death, because it shows that the council have not followed contaminated land protocol, which is potentially causing the illnesses, health issues and deaths of the people living around the site. So following on from the 2008 test, there was another test in 2020 when Enzo Homes owned the site. And we can see these red squares are contamination above the safety guidelines, and some of them are up to 9 times above the safety guidelines. So what we can see has happened here is that in 2008 there were a few contaminants, but in 2020 there was a lot of contaminants, and the majority of them are different. So that means that during the period 2008 and 2020, the Cuddy group were bringing on industrial waste, toxic waste, and dumping it at the site. And we have reports from residents of barrels or what that may contain toxic waste being dumped at the site. And all this information has been supplied to Neath Port Talbot Council, who have not investigated this. So we created this document, and in this document, when contamination is found, a human health risk assessment needs to be done. And this risk assessment showed that dust suppression should have been one of the measures that should have taken place but instead of the contamination being dealt with, what happened was Neath Port Talbot Council can be seen to be working with the Cuddy Group to hide the contamination through a series of planning applications that changed the nature of the site to a brownfield site, and then back to clean again. And this contravened or breached the 1990 Environmental Protection Act. And this report was submitted to 13 members of the planning committee and the Neath Port Talbot councillors, the Glynneath councillors, Del Morgan and Simon Noyle, who had been refusing to deal or to provide information or act as a go-between between us and the planning department since April 2020. So we then submitted this to the Glynneath Town Council and asked that Simon Noyle and Del Morgan ask what due diligence they'd taken in relation to this document, because the document provides evidence or information that people are dying of cancer around the site. There are children born with mutations. And so we submitted it to the Glynneath Town Council, and in the week lead up to that meeting, in the week before, the Glynneath Town Councillors Del Morgan and Simon Noyle put out a statement that contained misinformation in relation to our document. They'd said that we'd received 2 letters that dealt with the information within this document, which is complete nonsense. It's misinformation that was designed to basically bullshit the other Glynneath Town councillors who were to look at this document and decide on whether or not they would ask whether Simon Noyle or Del Morgan had undertaken due diligence on it. So 2 months after this document was not dealt with by the Glynneath Town Council, another member of our group died of a rare neurodegenerative disorder, progressive supranuclear palsy. Now, only 1 in 100,000 people contract this disorder yearly, and these people lived 5 houses apart on the closest area to the site where this contamination has recently been tested. So we've got 12 years of people living next to contamination, 2 deaths that can be related, that can be linked to contamination. There's an occurrence in France. The only other known cluster of progressive supranuclear palsy is in a town called Waterlos in northern France. Like I say, these people live 5 doors apart, and only 1 in 100,000. So the odds of this happening anywhere in the UK are millions to 1. There are no other known cases of PSP in Glynneath, only in the Bryn Hyfryd. So I then made a report that looked at the French contamination, or the French PSP cluster, and how it was similar to the Bryn Hyfryd cluster. and I submitted this to, hand-delivered it to the Glynneath Town Councillors, Heol y Glyn and Gerry Reynolds on the 1st of May 2021. And together with that, I put a covering letter, and I gave the conclusion of the report is that residents of Bryn Hyfryd are dying from the rare neurological disorder, progressive supranuclear palsy. These deaths are almost certainly due to specified and other potential unspecified contamination tipped at the Heol y Glyn landfill site. Public officers who have covered up this contamination are responsible for the unlawful killing of these residents. So that's a letter I put through Gerry Reynolds and Heol y Glyn's door together with the report. So on the 8th of June 2021, the Glynneath Town Council discussed the letter to Heol y Glyn. They did not discuss the accompanying report. So Heol y Glyn and Gerry Reynolds were in that meeting, and Gerry Reynolds did not mention at all that he'd received a letter, and so after that meeting we wrote to the Glynneath Town Council. Well, we asked, we gave a freedom of information request, identifying what happened to the reports, and the freedom of information request turned up that Heol y Glyn disposed of it some time ago, and Gerry Reynolds disposed of the report. So both councillors sat through a meeting that identified that residents of Bryn Hyfryd are dying of a rare disorder, and neither one did anything, or neither one mentioned the report. And I believe that they have destroyed public information, and I believe that is a crime, because it's not being dealt with. People are dying, and these people anyway, right, so as you can see, I get tied up a bit with talking, which is why I put the information on paper so that people can read it, and if they don't understand it, they can ask questions. If you're a policeman, policewoman, you can ask me questions in relation to this, and I will provide answers. So that was the presentation, or that was the information within the presentation that I was trying to give to the police on that particular day, and that has taken, I'll have to work out now how long that has taken. On the 21st of May 2021, we still had not heard from Inspector Sweeney, so we sent her a communication by video that contained information relating to our meeting and additional information relevant to the presentation we were attempting to make. To view this video, please search YouTube for Inspector Lindsay Sweeney 101 Video Communication from Glynneath Residents Against Contamination, or click on the link in the description. Glynneath Residents Against Contamination Group.